Welcome to Stitch 22. This is week 19 of the project, and this time I'm going to introduce you to ideas of stitching onto the edges, folded edges of a fabric. So you can stitch tucks, or you can just iron tucks into your fabric. I'm just using a nice hot iron here, and you can see that it gives some very nice sharp pleats. And that's all you need to do. The stitching is going to hold the fabric. And the sort of stitching that I'm going to encourage you to do is stitches which go well on the fabric edge. And this one, which you might recognise, is just like a sort of an overcast stitch. So I'm just showing you on this very simple plain fabric, which I hope is clear enough for you to see. I'm using a dark thread and a very monotonous colour scheme just so it shows up quite well. So that's an overcast stitch. Now another stitch which is quite good fun to use, again you'll be familiar with the stitch, I'm sure, a blanket stitch. So I'm just going to stitch over the edge and make a blanket stitch formation over the edge of the fabric, all along that pleat, that folded bit. The interesting thing with blanket stitch is that you can work into the blanket stitch, not by going through the fabric, but by doing more blanket stitch into the blanket stitch itself. So a second row, maybe contrasting colour, and you work your way along the row as far as you wish to go. And when you wish to turn round, what I simply do is just turn the fabric upside down and then go backwards on yourself. And I'm sure you can work out a very simple way of making the blanket stitch in the opposite direction. If I just do that, and could you see it's actually making quite a nice lacy edge, which is quite fun to see how it develops. Again, you can go back and forth. You don't have to go the whole range. You go into every single buttonhole blanket stitch, or you can miss one out, or you can go into several times into one stitch, making quite a large shape, a large lacy shape. You can turn around whenever you like and go back again. So you can see it getting longer and longer as it's extended out. If I show you a few examples of ones I've finished previously, which might be more illustrative of the process. Here's a piece of organdy, which I pleated up with the iron, and I've used a purple thread on this surface, and then, as you can probably see, I used a yellow thread on that surface, and pulling it out, you can actually see both sides, which I think is quite good fun. And this one is a scrunched piece of fabric again, and I thought I did blanket stitch in white thread on all the edges, and I thought it looked like a cobweb, so I pulled it out, and in the little crease, in the dent there, hope you can see it, is a little spider with a button stitched down and little legs using fly stitch. So you can have fun thinking what you could put in one of the pleats. Another one I thought was nice and bright and yellowy, so I stitched a sunflower in the opening out bit. So I can close it up if I like. And then another one which was pleated like that, several pleats, which I thought looked like steps or a garden path, but you can see that these loops have been extended out and form quite a deep overlap. So it's all very three-dimensional, if you see what I mean. If I hold it out like that, I think you can see it. So have fun. It's not a specific stitch. It's any stitch that you can do on the edge of the fabric. So have fun and see what you can do. I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye-bye.